Welcome back to the channel where we discuss everything low-code, no-code, AI, and automation. Today, we're going to be building an audio translation app using BuildShip that takes an English audio file and converts it in parallel to 4 different languages. BuildShip is a super powerful back-end tool that can do a lot of different tasks, including this one, but I highly recommend you check out BuildShip for any of your back-end or flow needs. I'll spotlight some of the other cool things that you can do with BuildShip in this video to get started if you haven't used it before. In just a few minutes, we'll have our audio translating app backend complete, and I'll show you how to access the API using Postman. If you like this type of video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any other videos like this one. Okay, let's go ahead, dive in, and show you how this all works. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be building today with BuildShip, an app that converts an audio English file into 4 other languages in parallel using their backend builder. If you haven't checked out BuildShip, I highly recommend that you do. I'll drop a link to BuildShip in the show notes, but it's just buildship.com. You can check it out there. BuildShip is a powerful low-code tool. It's a visual backend builder. It's integrated with a ton of different AI models and other apps as well. There's a ton that you can do, from building backends to flows to scheduling tasks to web scraping and so much more. I'll spotlight some of the things that you can do with BuildShip briefly before we dive into building this backend flow that translates audio. But just know that there's a ton that you can do, and it's not limited to just language. You can build all kinds of different things with their integration. So we'll show you some of what you can do. I'm going to go ahead and navigate over to this tab where I'm logged in. And let's head over to their templates before we get started, just to give you a preview of some of the cool things that you could do with BuildShip. So you can always start from scratch and build your own flow, but they also have these pre-built flows for you to give you inspiration or maybe even just solve your problem right out of the box, which is super nice. They have it broken down into categories. So if we head into AI, you can build something that chats with an Airtable base, chat with Supabase. You can scrape a website and build an assistant to answer questions intelligently about the website. You can build bots, all kinds of different bots here that you can build. You can do database type things, like you can sign up a user with authentication with Firebase. You can store to PDF, Stripe Save subscription. You get the idea. There's just a ton that you can do. They have different web scraping flows, payment flows, utility flows. So really the use cases are limitless here, but it is nice to see that they have a lot of these pre-built to get you started if you haven't worked with BuildShip before. Now, I'm going to head over to what we've built today to show you how we did this, and I'm going to preview how it works. It's super cool. This only took a few minutes to get set up. So if we head over to our language translator flow here, we have it broken down into a few steps, and I'll walk you through each step to show you how it all works. So it all begins with this post request, which is just a file upload. This is where we're going to upload our audio file. And then what's going to happen here in the second step is it's going to convert it to an audio file, which it already is, and it's going to upload it to Google Cloud storage and create a folder for it if it doesn't exist. So super simple there. Now we have a few things here. The first step in our flow is Grok speech to text. So what we're simply doing here, we have our API key uploaded, but we're just going to convert this audio file into a text file using Grok speech to text. You can choose your model if you would like. We have the Whisper Large V3, and you can choose the language. It's in English, the temperature. There's all these sort of fine-tuned settings that you can use, but this is a basic setup here. I just have the API key, and I'm converting it to text. Moving on, we're using the Claude assistant here. Again, I have my API key, and this is really the important step here. In the instructions, you have to give the Claude Assistant instructions on what to do here with this. So let's go ahead and open this up. I have a very, very simple prompt here. So translate to the following language: French, Russian, Spanish, and German. So this is going to go ahead and translate our audio file, which has been converted to text, into French, Russian, Spanish, and German. So now at this step, we will have our original audio file now in text form in these 4 languages. Coming down here, by the way, in between each node, you can always add another node if you want some other step in there. It's really easy to add nodes between steps by just hitting add node or this plus button, but these are the steps that I have here. So next up, we are actually going to be using 11 API. So as you can see, you can string a bunch of different AI models or apps together, which is super cool, but we're going to be using 11 labs. Again, we have our API key in to convert the text now to an audio file. So check this out. We have our API key and we have a ton of different options here. Again, these are a bunch of fine tuning options, but we can choose our voice ID. There's a ton of different voices. I'm just going to go ahead and use Daniel here, but you are welcome to change it up, of course. The model, you can choose the output format, the stability, all these fine tuning options here you can play around with to get the desired outcome that you want. But basically what we're doing is we're just converting the text in the 4 different languages back to speech in the voice that we choose. And this is going to do the 4 languages parallel, which is super cool. The final step here is just to return the audio file that we got as an API endpoint. So that way we can access that API endpoint in our website, in our backend, in a tool like Postman, which I'm going to show you shortly to make sure that it works. But we're simply just returning the value that we get back from 11 labs here in this final step. So really it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to get this entire flow working. You have to make sure, of course, that you have all your API keys in for these different models or apps that you're using. But other than that, it's super simple. So once you have this built, I've already shipped this, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit the ship button. I'm going to go ahead and do it again here for you so that you can see what happens. Just takes a second here to ship this app. Okay, and we got a notification here that our workflow was successfully deployed. We get our API endpoint here. We can actually use this as a chat widget and embed it on our website, which is super cool. I'm not going to show that today, but it's super easy. You have your endpoint URL. You can rename the chat widget title. You can put a greeting message. You can put a button name like translate. We'll go ahead and apply the changes. It's going to give us the code, and we can just copy the script right into our website. They show you here. You can put it in Framer, Webflow, or any other similar platform that allows you to embed custom code. Okay, so you can use this sort of no-code option to embed this right into your website, but I'm going to show you how this works today using Postman. Postman is just an API testing tool. It's super easy to use. It's free, and I'll walk you through how to do this. So let's go ahead and copy the endpoint URL here. Okay, I think that copied. We'll head over to Postman here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to paste our endpoint URL in here. We want to make sure that we're using a post request, because if we head back over to BuildShip, we'll see that the method is post here. So we want to make sure that we use a post request. Okay, we put in our endpoint URL, and there's really only one other thing that we need. What we want to do is we want to head over to form data. And there's 2 things that we have to enter here. The key is going to be transcribe, and we're getting that here from this path URL transcribe. So we put in transcribe. And then what we need to do is the pre-default option here in Postman is text. We need to change this to file because we're going to upload a file. And then we need to upload our file from our local machine. I have this file on my machine that I recorded that says something to the effect of, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to buy bananas and some other items. It's about a 10-second clip. Of course, this would work with any audio file, but this is just the example that I provided. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have our key in, we have our file in, we have our endpoint URL, we have it as a post request. Let's go ahead and hit send and see what happens. Okay, it's going to go ahead and send this request. It's thinking. It should just take a couple of seconds here. Okay, and let's go back here to our body. And this is the response that we got back from the API. It's a URL on Google storage with the MP3 file that should be translated. So what we can do is we can actually copy this URL. We can go into a new tab. We can paste it here, and we can see our translation.
French, Russian, Spanish, and German. French. Bonjour, aujourd'hui nous allons aller à l'épicerie pour acheter des bananes, des raisins, des oranges et des pommes. Russian. Zdravствуйте, сегодня мы собираемся пойти в продуктовый магазин, чтобы купить бананы, виноград, апельсины и яблоки. Spanish. Hola, hoy vamos ir al supermercado para comprar plátanos, uvas, naranjas y manzanas. German. Hallo, Heute werden wir in den Supermarkt gehen, Bananen, Trauben, Orangen und Apfel zu kaufen.
Okay, it worked perfectly. So in just a few minutes, we were able to build this backend app that takes an audio file and translates it into 4 different languages. This was a super simple example, but hopefully should give you the idea of how you can build these powerful types of backend flows in a visual builder like BuildShip. I'd be really curious to see what you think of this. So if you could drop your comments in below the video, that would be super helpful. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, be sure to drop them in the comments as well. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new tutorials like this one. Thank you so much and have a good day.